Alright, what's up guys? In today's video, we're going to be doing an introduction video for IFBB Pro bodybuilder Rafael Brandao and a contest prep update as he is 9 weeks out from the 2020 Brazil Pro. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys stay tuned. Alright, like I said guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be doing an introduction video for Rafael Brandao and a contest prep update video as we are getting 9 weeks away from his first show of 2020, which is the 2020, what do they call it, the South America Pro? Most people just call it the Arnold Brazil. So I want to start this video off by showing you guys the best package, in my opinion, that Rafael brought to the stage last year, which was the 2019 Brazil, where he placed second right behind Juan Morel. So there's just a few things I want to point out as we go through the transition shots in this comparison round where it's just Rafael and Juan. So Juan has a lot of pros. He's a very seasoned bodybuilder. He's been in the game for a while. He has very wide shoulders. His structure is very conducive to being a successful open bodybuilder. He has a very small, deeply defined midsection where, as you can see, how his abs kind of, it's a perfect triangle. It's narrow at the bottom and then it opens up wide into the outer pectoral areas, and it doesn't really dip in, whereas if you look at Rafael's, his kind of represents more of like an oval where it's very narrow at the bottom and then it kind of tapers up into the middle of the pectorals. Also, Juan has extremely well conditioned hamstrings, and they really do sit well when he does his side shots. Juan has a lot more mass when it comes to the upper body, especially in his most muscular and his lat spread, his rear lat spread. Hands down, those are his take-home shots at this show. One of the biggest critiques for Rafael is that he's just a little too small for the open class. Now, I don't particularly agree with that. I think that smaller bodybuilders or smaller proportioned, smaller packaged bodybuilders, they can make their spot on a bodybuilding stage just as Frank Zane did back in the day. You just have to keep in mind the strong points and the weak point. And piggybacking off of Rafael's structure and muscle insertions, his chest is so wide, his shoulders are very wide, and then you look into his midsection, and especially the way he holds his front lat spread, where he pushes the midsection even further in, really emphasizing that nowadays X-shape taper is what most people are going for. In the olden days, in more of the golden era of bodybuilding, it was a V taper, but now Rafael really does embody the X frame of bodybuilding, and as always, I'm very excited to see how he does this year. So I've noticed you guys have been enjoying these comparison shots, so I'm going to continue doing them. On the left, we have Rafael at the 2019 Big Man Weekend, or most people call it the Spanish Pro. And on the right, of course, is his Brazil Pro, or the South America's Arnold Classic 2019. So front and double bicep. So right off the bat, I just want to clear the air. The lighting at the Brazil versus the Spain, I think, was a lot, maybe not a lot better, but the backdrops were just, the blue is just not a great color to really emphasize bodybuilders and the insertion points and the striations and the dryness and conditioning. Green, I thought the green with the yellow looks fantastic, especially on Rafael's body and skin tone. I thought that the green really emphasized his conditioning and striations and overall muscular package. So for the most part, I feel like this is a toss-up shot for Rafael. I feel like he didn't make any improvements from one show to the next, as there really wasn't a lot of time between them. Also, I think his conditioning was fairly the same when it comes to this front shot. Everything looks fairly similar. The only caveat I would say is that I like the way he was holding his front double in Brazil compared to Spain, the right versus the left. I feel like it looks a little bit more aesthetic, and I feel like he has his elbows just a little bit higher, and it makes the bicep peak look just a little bit more full. Front lat spread, the coloring and the backdrop really does make Rafael in Brazil look a lot more conditioned, a lot drier and separated, especially when you look at the legs, the midsection, and even the forearms and biceps. It really makes the overall package look a lot more conditioned and dry. Maybe it's just me looking at it, but it does also make his look, it also does make his lats look a little bit wider and his midsection look a little bit leaner. And that also could be the way he's holding his chin. The side chest I feel is a toss-up. The hamstrings look a little bit more conditioned at Brazil, but really it could be the lighting, it could be the tan. It really is tough to tell. I feel like Rafael held his positioning a little bit better with the side try at Brazil. It does look a little weird in Spain. Doesn't look like he's flexing his legs as much. And it looks like he's almost leaning over a little bit more, but I'm not sure. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Now, there are a few key things that I could see here in this back double. So first off, you can see that he looks a little bit more watery in the lower to mid back, kind of like where the Christmas tree starts. And also you can tell that there's a little bit less conditioned. You can also tell that he's lost a little bit of conditioning when it comes to his glutes, especially the left glute looks a little bit more watery in Spain compared to his Brazil package. In the lat spread, the rear lat spread looks pretty rough in Spain, really watery. The lighting isn't very conducive to show all the separations and muscular fibers. So the lighting on the left in Spain, I don't think it was very good. I didn't like the way he almost overemphasized his lat spread lean to the back, if you can kind of see what I'm saying. Whereas if you look at the Brazil shot, he's upright enough to where the lat spread is still opening up and being nice and wide, allowing those lats to flare out. But he's not leaning so far back that it's going to be shadowing that lower back and hiding any conditioning that he might have. Also, you can see that the glutes, the glutes are more conditioned and the hamstrings are more conditioned in Brazil. Now, these most muscular shots are actually pretty much a toss-up, I think. You got two different shots here. The ones with his hands clasped above his groin, and then the traditional crab pose. I don't really see much of a difference here. I think he's very dry and shredded for what he, comparatively with the two shots. I love the way his teardrops in his quads look. He looks big and full, and it's definitely a great package in both shots. And I definitely think he brought fantastic conditioning to both shows for the most part, but I do think that his Brazil presentation was more superior than his Spain package that he brought in 2019. Now I want to avert your attention to his Instagram post here. He's been training with Flex Lewis for quite a while now, so he's been making some measurable and visible improvements, especially in this lat spread here, this rear lat spread. He's talking about 2 weeks before the Arnold Brazil in 2019 versus 7 weeks before the Arnold Brazil in 2020, and that was as of May. So we still have, so with everything getting pushed back, the times are going to be a little different with the 7 weeks out, but you can see, you can visibly see the difference in his rhomboid areas, especially on the left rhomboid where the light's hitting it underneath that rear delt. That's really popped out compared to the one on the left. I feel like he's put a lot of size on. Now it's kind of tough with the underwear or with the trunks that he chose. It does look like the right one on his hamstrings, it looks like his legs have gotten bigger, but it really is kind of tough to see when he's wearing two different types of trunks. And I can also say potentially that his lower back looks a lot bigger. Can you kind of see how, maybe it's the way he's holding it, I'm not sure, but it looks like he's put on some serious size in that lower back department, almost resembling kind of the way Kai Green's back used to be, and still is, I guess. So the most important thing I want you guys to take away from this video is that Rafael is ready. He is getting ready for the 2020 Brazil Arnold Classic show, and what, 9 weeks? I think he has a lot of time left to bring in some serious conditioning. It looks like, obviously, it looks like he's made the improvements in the off season to put on some considerable amount of muscle in the areas that he needed. I am excited with seeing those lower hamstring shots. That was something that a lot of people said that he needed improvements on, especially when he was being compared next to Juan Burrell in 2019 at the Arnold Classic Brazil. He was definitely downside. He definitely didn't have the size to compete with such a veteran bodybuilder in some poses, especially his hamstrings. I thought that his hamstrings needed some improvements. But overall, I'm excited to see if, he still has a little bit of time left in this contest prep season, so maybe he can make a few more improvements. But overall, with depleting carbs and calories, and really just drying out and getting ready for stage conditioning, you're not really going to put on any more muscle. So this is pretty much going to be his package. If anything, it'll just be more conditioned, more dry, being able to see the separations and the muscular fibers better. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this introduction video for Rafael Brandao. I know I ramble a lot, but it's just fun to talk about. It's fun to talk about bodybuilders and really just go over some of their strong points and potentially some things that they could use some improvement in. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed me talking about Rafael Brandao and you guys are excited about his 2020 season, consider liking the video. If you guys enjoy bodybuilding contest update videos in general, consider subscribing. Of course, if you guys like to support me, you can use my discount code or sponsored athlete code, SANCH15 at goldenarrownutrition.com. I would appreciate it. But for the fourth time, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.